president, of course. So with that kind of introduction, if you would like to ask me any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Any questions from the board? I guess I have one.
Great.
The community of Mendocino, we've just gone through in the last several weeks a discussion on right-of-way, et cetera.
Yes.
And maybe intrusions into those right-of-ways. Do you see any conflict with your present activity working for Caltrans in regards to right-of-ways and maybe conflicts with the Mendocino Historical Review Board if you were to be a board member?
Certainly no conflicts at all, because it's not state property to start with, but I'm not, my work is in the 9 Bay Area counties, which is District 1 of Caltrans, and so I think that I would be utilizing knowledge, and since this is a volunteer effort, I look at it as knowledge that I've gained by living here, and I would provide and apply that background to decision-making. I would see no conflict at all.
Great. Good answer. Any other comments or questions from the board? None? Okay. Supervisor Smith.
Yes, maybe just a comment, and it seems like, Ms. Perrell, that you gave us a very succinct sort of historical view of your interests since you've been in Mendocino County, from the Laytonville area and the arts and the schools to culminating with your current position with Caltrans and the responsibilities inherent in contract management and interfaces with state and federal guidelines and procedures. So, and everything sort of in between that, and at the same time you maintain your residency here. So, and I think with your educational background, I think often, education is sort of overlooked in these scenarios, and so I think your educational background really lends itself very well, from natural history to geography to public administration, is a very nice combination of skill sets and informational background that you have, and you've really sort of embodied the concept of lifelong learning and being able to kind of bring all those concepts together, meanwhile being a community member, a mother, and doing all these things simultaneously. So I think it's a good, I think you have a good skill set for decision making, and you clearly are interested in the community. So I applaud you for stepping forward to do yet another volunteer position like your management, and I didn't know that you were the president of the homeowners group. I wasn't aware of that. So so I think that you have a good combination of experience and background to be a very level and conscientious decision maker. So
Thank you. Thank you for your comments.
Supervisor Pinchas.
Just a comment, I think probably living in Laytonville, Branscombe was probably one of your best education experiences of all.
I honestly would say
Yeah.
so. And some of the best work I've done has been for free, so volunteer work has always been a part of my life, and I love that community.
And as we were celebrating life's endeavors and patriotism earlier, volunteerism is the purest form of patriotism, and it's much appreciated and in a dwindling supply nowadays.
I know people generally don't have the time with all the hard work they have to put in at the office and on the job to volunteer these days.
Okay.
Difficult to make time for it.
Other concerns, questions from the board? Shall we take up individual appointments or both appointments together? What's the direction of the board?
Since we have two applicants, I would suggest we take them together.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'll call upon the next applicant, Wendy Roberts, please.
Been admonished that I never get the mic down where people in the audience can hear me speak. Does it work? Okay. Yes, I'm humble. I'm Wendy Roberts, and I'm here again to seek your appointment to the review board. I know you're familiar with my qualifications, so I'll try to be brief here. I've been a part-time resident of Mendocino and a homeowner for 20 years. For all of those years, I've volunteered in the community in a variety of organizations and in the public schools. We've rehabilitated our Mendocino historic home, and we've gone through the MHRB for 2 new buildings that we've constructed in the town. And I continue to serve on the board of the Historic Temple of Kwantai, and I'm in my 2nd term as a member of the grand jury. I've worked on preservation of public buildings both in the Bay Area and in Mendocino. In addition to supporting the temple restoration and researching our own projects in Mendocino, I've also quietly helped others to research their properties and present successful applications to the MHRB. Strangely, that is something that has had to be done quietly, because had I been associated with those projects, they would have received opposition. Most recently, I had the pleasure of working with Ruth Sparks in the Study Club to make Mendocino a Preserve America community. I'm delighted to report that the club, there's an error here, it's been invited to compete for a presidential award. It's not quite a Preserve America community yet, but it's gone to the Park District. Ruth and that Study Club are doing some of the best work in preservation that I've seen